getting some food, guys. So I'll wait to see what happens here. The eights. Well, these guys love these 3-bets here against a short stack. 23. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to call here, I think. Well, I mean, this just looks... I don't know, it kind of looks really strong. On both players' behalves. I mean, he's only M6, he's raised into 5 players, and he could just be B. I mean, he looks like he opens a fair bit. He could just be a massive fish, but the thing is, if we open and if we jam and we're wrong, and you know he actually has a hand, or this guy's trapped, because he could be, he's pretty tight and he's flatted an M6 open. So combining the two, one alone is probably not too bad, but when you combine them both facets and put them in the one hand, it's tight player opening and tight player flatting. Not a tight player opening, but like a short stack. Short stack opening, and yeah, I mean, it's as a big stack. I mean, the thing is, we're not big stacked, so we can't afford to lose the 100,000 like that because it cripples us. We are coming fourth, and we do have a little bit of a buffer over a lot of the field. And I just didn't really want to take the risk there of giving that buffer up. And I'm just very hungry, so hang on, guys. Okay, so the 8-2 off. Both players seem like they're defending tight, not 3-betting a bunch, so I went for it. Gonna fold the Queen 2 there. Looks like the steal probably would have got through though, so it's a bit annoying. Jam. Well, action. Ace Queen. Tens. 2. 2. Yeah. That is the end of that chapter. It's annoying when that happens because I mean you try to play well and you just don't. I mean, it's just kind of out of your hands, you know. It's just up to the poker gods when you're short, and that's why you hear me or you see me playing some hands aggressively and taking a few risks, and it's because if you just wait for hands or leave your hands up to your fate up to the poker gods, they punish you. You got to try and use a skill edge. You got to try and do things that other players don't do, and that's what gives you the edge. Play better, and looking for spots that others miss is a great way to do that. Whether it be squeezing, 3-betting, opening, floating, and that's really the key to being able to consistently win and have an edge over the field. And in short, you can't do that. And just sitting there, woke up with Ace King. Finally, we get to jam. Play called with tens as you do, and that's it. It's all over. And so that's why sometimes I go out of my way to try and maintain and you hear me talking about stack preservation and how sometimes we might not want to make a loose call when we have M sort of 15 and go down to M7, because we just leave our fate up to the poker gods from that point. We're going to wake up with a hand, we're going to jam it, or player's going to open, we're going to 3-bet jam. We don't have a lot of time left. When you have M15, different story. You can open, you can 3-bet to fold, you can 4-bet jam with fold equity. You just got a lot more play. You can see a flop. You can float a flop. And that's really what it's all about. And it's really important to maintain that sort of stack size. I mean, even here, this tournament's gone for 5.5 hours now. And everyone's pretty shallow. The average is 214. And there's 25 starting in there every round. So, I mean, the average is only M9, under M9, M8.5. So, I mean, even in this tournament, the structure is not, doesn't give us a lot of play. But we've managed to sort of, just leverage our stack and maintain and slowly accumulate chips and stay ahead of the blinds to set ourselves up with a position, give ourselves a chance to win. And then from that point, it's just a matter of going on a mini heater. It doesn't even have to be a big heater, just a mini heater. If we have a spike the Ace Queen and the 50 rebuy against White Rabido, spike the Queen, knock out the most dangerous player at the table at the time, and go to chip lead and take over and win the tournament. And a lot of times that's kind of how it happens, It's you can only do so much, and then at some point your hands have to hold up, or you have to get a bit lucky. That's going to be inevitable, but it's all about what you do up to that point to try and set yourself up for it. So I mean, pretty standard open here, I think, in this situation, and nice squeeze by this player. Can't imagine this guy here ever calling. And I think I'll just open up again here, but maybe not now. I think it's an easy fold. That guy's been very tight. And we still have 5 players behind as well. 4 behind. Let's see if this guy just snap folds now and makes a liar of me. Having said that, I mean, it is a pretty big jam, M10, so he might, even with some of his stronger holdings, feel he can escape here. I think he could actually have folded a hand like Ace-10 or Ace-Jack there. He may have had the same sort of hand as As or a small pocket. But yeah, the King-Queen is pretty close, but didn't really want to call, maybe get jammed on behind, maybe be dominated, because that player's been very tight. It's kind of annoying. I wish everyone had 3 or 4 times the stack they have right now, and then I'd be feeling great, you know. I'd be like, yeah, we've got this one, but it's hard to be like that when I mean, you want to don't get me wrong. I mean, we've got an edge over the field, and I think that from here we're a favourite to win it, but it's our fate is a little bit out of our own hands. You know, the poker gods are going to have to make the final decision here. We can just have to do everything we can. That's why it's really important to be aggressive and try and pick up a lot of chips and dead money and do all that sort of good stuff. Pretty close there with the pocket fours. We could definitely have opened it, but we do have to fold 23 bet or jam, obviously. So it's virtually a raw steal. We may as well be opening with ace-2 off if we're opening with fours. The only difference, of course, is if we do get flattered. Fours is sometimes going to flop a monster, but most of the time I'm going to flop bananas. This 4 minutes the blinds will be up. This is going to turn into a crazy crapshoot. That's my feeling. If we don't lose a couple of players soon, everyone's going to be hanging around with M6. It's going to be like the Sunday Millions at the end. Well, even that's a little bit better than this. Good spot. It's, you know, this guy's a little bit loose, which is a bit of a concern, because he might think, oh, you're just stealing your small blind and call wide, which hurts his ICM, but also hurts ours. You know. But it's just an easy jam. M7, obviously, pocket pair with the ICM, but yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit concerning that he like snaps us there with like ace-4 or, you know, like king-jack, which hands that he should be folding, given the ICM. And if he is calling, if we do know he's calling with a wide range, we can actually, well, technically we should probably be folding 2s. But it's hard to, because they're just such a fist pump jam in that spot. But if the guy literally said to you, hey, I'm calling with any 2, you know, then you would fold it because of the ICM. It's almost like he's jamming on you if he says that. This guy looks like he's cooking up a 3-bet. Nope, he's cooking up a call. I think I will go ahead and bet here. I mean, there's a lot of cards that he can hold that might, like a 7, 8, 8, 9, Jack 9, Jack Queen, Queen 9, 6, 7. Like, there's just a lot of hands that either A, we don't really want to give a free card to, spades as well, obviously, but also B can give us action. So, I mean, it's close. I mean, checking is not. We do have a jack, which is kind of good. Because if he's got 7, 9, the jack comes, I guess. You know, we got the straight. Queen 9, the jack, the full house, I should say. Queen 9, jack. Yeah, I mean, the jack gives us a full house, so slight, what's the word I'm looking for? Not oversight, but yeah, I mean, a consideration to factor in. But I mean, that guy's pretty loose. He could be defending with a pretty wide range and potentially check calling flop with a little bit of a range too. Yeah, I mean, checking and betting I think are both fine, but I think he might sometimes even check raise too as well, but he's been kind of passive so far. Well, I shouldn't say that because he has been 3-bet jamming, but I don't know. I mean, we don't really have a lot of history on him. He's been messing around, so who knows? He's been giving a bit of action. Yeah, I think I will go for this one. It's pretty close. It always is. The players have been, I mean, just active. I mean, there's been a lot of 3-betting and stuff. There shouldn't be much calling, but you know, I do expect there to be a lot of 3-betting, and hijack Queen 10 with 3 guys behind that can quite easily 3-bet is definitely a concern. But this guy to our left that's tanking and the small blind, I mean, they're a little bit short at M8 to be 3-betting. I mean, they can 3-bet to like, 37,000 or whatever to fold. But it is a fair chunk of their stack to do it, almost a quarter, so they might opt not to. The button plays loose, so that's a bit of a concern as well, because he might call sometimes. And the big blind, though, is the main reason I raised is because it says he hasn't actually defended a big blind yet. But we don't have many hands on these guys, so it might turn out to be incorrect information. Pretty close there. Blinds have gone up and left a couple of players really short. If we min there and get jammed on by the small blind, we actually probably can fold. It's actually pretty hard for the other guys behind to do too much, because if they do attack, they commit themselves to the blinds. So it's a pretty close spot. I think Saddam has 8-10 and he's flopped the nuts. That's my guess. And he snap folds. 5-7. 5-7 suited. That was my next guess. Yeah, I mean, definitely we could probably be opening there again, but the problem is these guys might not really respect the open so much as they should. Well, not so much as they should, but just, yeah, I mean, the stack sizes make it very awkward for players to play hands. But they might still just play them anyway, is what I mean. So if they're sitting at ace 10, they've got an awkward stack, short stacks behind, they should be in a tough spot. But these guys might just go for it. I think I will just, well, I think I just fold now. Yeah. Fold or jam. Fold or jam. I was going to raise on the small blind, I think, on the big blind. And I think he's going to fold a lot just because of these short stacks out there, can move up in pay. ICM-wise, it's correct to jam on him there, probably with almost any two. But at the same time, I don't think he's playing by the ICM rules, and so I don't want to jeopardize our own ICM by jamming on him really wide. And so I'd actually think I prefer it in that instance to probably just raise fold if he jams. Even though ICM, I mean, we can get the ICM calculator out and have a look at it. It's probably the easiest way so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about here. Just going to open up the ICMizer here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So 20 structure, I'm just going to make it a sorry guys, one sec. Just watching his hand here. Okay. Yeah, so let's just collapse this in a bit. So let's say this guy actually had a not limped, how he had a folded. And did we get the all in there? We did. And we lose that guy. Which is fine. Happy to lose players at this point. So we should be pushing 89%, which is about what I would have thought. I would have said like 85-ish. We should be jamming this stuff. So, as I said, Queen 6 should be a jam. But if we think this guy's calling with a wider range than he should be, like that, now it's a fold, which was why I opted, which is why I said I will raise fold it, because I think it's a mistake to just jam on him if he's calling a little bit too wide. But I mean, I might be wrong. He might not be calling wider, but that sort of range I just quickly plugged in then is sort of what I thought he might do. And it did become a fold. Well, I mean, it just didn't become a jam, an all-in. But having said that, it's a good spot here. When he thinks like this, it looks like we're clear. And, I mean, that guy's going to have a pretty wide range. And that is pretty devastating. And that's kind of summed up the day today, I think. Just haven't had any, haven't really had anything go our way. We get it in with the guy crushed for the chip lead. And, yeah. You know, it's just got to try and, yeah, just got to try to keep playing well. Keep your head up and wait for the time when, you know, things do go your way. And maybe even you get lucky one time, you know. 3, 6, 9, 12. I would have jammed that, I think. 3, 6, 9, 12, M4. Yeah. Probably would have jammed it. Pretty close. Had a lot of outs too, didn't we? The thing about our stack now is it's quite small, but we're actually still going to get a bit of fold equity because it still can put a dent in the other players' stacks. I mean, it's still almost half of some of these guys' stacks, even though we're in M4. Blinds up in 1 minute, which is bad because we're going to be mega short. We'll go down to M3, and that fold equity I just mentioned we had on jams is going to be, well, it's going to be not quite non-existent, but definitely going to have to be lucky to get players for it to fold around. They're really going to have to wake up with trash. It's hard to imagine this guy doing this to fold against an M6 open from cutoff. 3-betting on the button to fold. But you never know. Is it Brazilian? Let's check. UK. I mean, it looks like he's just kind of committing to the shorter stack and maybe leaving himself an option if one of the bigger stacks jam. Or maybe he just has an absolute monster and he's just raising small to get value. So it looks like the blinds are going to go right up, as were the big blind. Should have tried to fold a bit faster a few hands earlier. Fold, baby, fold. Do it. Blinds are up in 1 minute. Ooh. Or you can 3-bet, that's fine. Wow, that looks nutty. That looks actually like kings or aces, doesn't it? It's just hard to imagine this guy here not having kings or aces. He's going to probably make a liar of me, but I think he has aces. And I think they're red and black. He's got one of each colour. And the other guy's got something like... what does the other guy have? Maybe the other guy's trapped. Or maybe he's just got 8s. It's going to be some sort of messy hand, whatever happens. Oh my god, don't tell me this guy's going to fold now. This is too gross. Thank you, thank you. Aces. Oh, they both had aces. And I was right. I said one red, one black. Yeah, and the other guy had aces too, so... I actually just thought the other guy was being a huge fish, to be honest. The Tarzan guy. I mean, it's pretty obvious Rodman had aces, but... wow, this is kind of annoying. We can't fold if he had a jammed, but... yeah, I thought he was going to have something fishy, the other guy, and just got 3-bet last time and folded. Now he gets 3-bet again. He's just like sick of folding and has a decent hand, but feels like he's getting a price to call, even though everyone in the world knows the other guy's going to make that raise size with aces. So it was good to get that walk though, I mean, because it just gives us enough chips to have a little bit of fold equity when we jam. Which we'll be doing now by the looks of things, just over M3. 3.3-ish. You can see it still gets a little bit of puts a little bit of hurt on these guys. Not so much this guy, Floppy Nuts. Floppy Nuts looks like he's got like a middling strength hand. He might even have like 5s or Ace-8 or like King-Jack suited. And he looks like he's not sure how he should proceed because if he calls us, he's committed to the big blind. So I think he's just going to shove over the top all in and take the risk. And then we just have to try and get there. He's seen us jam a few times, so I mean, I think he's definitely seeing it's a pretty short stack. He knows we're desperate, we're only cut off. And definitely wants to tango. Maybe he's got Ace-5 suited. Maybe he's gone to the fridge to get a beer. He's gone to the fridge to get a... What beer would you guys like right now? Stella. Sapporo Classic is what I'd go with. It's a good local beer. Don't mind the other Japanese beers. Asahi Kirin. He has 6s, and there's a 9 coming. There it is. Said it was coming. I called it. Don't know what he was thinking about. I mean, it was kind of what I said. I said 5s, maybe 4s, 3s, some Ace-5 or King-Jack or something. Kind of is around that area. He probably did go to the fridge to get a beer, and then Yeah, came back and saw he had sixes and stuffed, and then called and doubled us up. So I mean that's a good one. Obviously, makes me feel a little bit better. I still would have rather have won the ace queen though. Yeah. What about a Corona? Corona with lemon. Not a big fan of Heineken's, to be honest. Bogues. Maybe grab a Bogues. It's a Tasmanian beer. Tasmania and Belgium has the best. Tasmania. It's talking about it like it's a country. But it has got some good beers. It's for those of you that don't know, it's a state in Australia. Small island at the southeastern tip. Well, I say small island. It's not like a tiny island with just a few people, but I'm sure any Aussies listening to this right now are just thinking, Acesup, you're an idiot. But you're probably right. But I'm at a final table and you're not. So what are we going to do here? This is 6. I think I'm just going to fold. I kind of wanted to minute it, you know, open it, just bring it in, but 2, 4, 6, 7, M7-ish. That's pretty close. I mean, we could have brought it in there. But then if we get jammed on like that, you know, we have to fold. The problem is that every player has a jammy stack. Every single player. I don't even know if I've ever been at a final table where chips are like this evenly distributed and the structure is this bad. I mean, normally there's a couple of big stacks, a couple of tiny stacks. I mean, this guy, the biggest stack here is M9 and the shortest stack is M4. 249. Well, I guess we can just, wow. You know, I said this guy before had been kind of tight. But we just can't do anything but jam here. I mean, he's going to be stealing a fair percentage. Raise first in 6 of 43, 14%. I mean, we don't have many stats on him. He's raised 6 of 43 hands, you know, so it doesn't really mean that much. But raising 6 of 43, I mean, it's not that. I mean, yeah, it's just not enough to draw any conclusions, really. But it is pointing towards tight. Never get your own stats up. It's always tilting me. I think I'm just going to fold this one. And this one. We're actually second, funnily enough. And blinds will be up in 1 minute. Fold fast. See if I can get the blinds past in this 1 minute. See how fast we can play. I think we can do it. Just a couple of hands to quick fold. And it's not like there's going to be any flops. Not with these stack depths. It's all a pre-flop game. All about leveraging your stack if you can. Wow, close. Very, very close. I mean, we just get so much leverage when we open. You know, everyone kind of is in jam or fold mode, even the big stacks. So we made it around, blinds within 1 minute going up. My guess is it will be the next hand that they go up. Just going to get the calc out here because I like to get my M down to, well, as accurate as I can. That's kind of weird. It's not letting me resize the calculator. I thought you could. So we've got 258 divided by 40.6. 6.3. I think I'm going to fold because I think those guys might call a bit loose. 6.3 in queens. Do you play it? Do you call or do you jam?